And I only have you guys on one screen, not two screens today, so everybody behave themselves. Okay, so set your props off to the side. And if you're working from the YouTube later on today or throughout the week, we're going to use our theraband, preferred theraband, and we're going to use a yoga block or something like a yoga block. All right. So come down onto your back, step your feet as wide as you like, knees drop in towards each other, and then both hands are just going to rest wide and gently on the belly. So spread your fingers just as wide as you can so you get as much coverage as you can find. Make sure your shoulder blades, your tailbone, everything gets nicely arranged. And then once you're there, just give a second to let your body settle in. As your body starts to settle in and your mind quiets down just a little bit, take a moment just to tune into the floor underneath your back. So just kind of get a sense of that nice solid structure underneath you, and maybe just take a breath and feel the slight bit of compression or just those contact points that you feel a little stronger as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, can you let your body get a little softer and a little heavier into that nice solid floor? Take one more quiet moment here. And then before we move away from this gentle place of stillness, just take a moment to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. With that intention set, we're going to move the hands up so that they find the rib cage. Whatever handhold works good for you. You can crisscross your arms or place them in any way that you find a good handhold. But once you've got your hands on your rib cage, we're going to take a few moments to just focus on the breath here. So we're breathing into the rib cage. We want to think front to back, side to side. But can you draw the breath first down to the deepest, bottommost part of the lungs or bottommost parts of the rib cage? So as you take your inhale, imagine that you're directly drawing that breath or energy down to the bottom of the lungs and then fill upward. So see if you can find that idea or sensation. Take a nice, generous inhale. And then exhale nice and slow. Inhaling to start at the bottom of the lungs and then fill up to the top. Exhale nice and slow. Take about 2 or 3 more cycles of breath, just finding a good rhythm of breath that works for you. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, we're going to release our arms into our I Dream of Jeannie arms, or that square across the chest. So catch hold of your elbows. And then once you're there, just give a second. So if you had your arms and shoulders arranged, so when you're holding your ribs, so that things need a little bit of replacement, take a second to make sure that your back feels good on the ground. And then once you feel like you've got it, pull your elbows gently side to side. Just as far as feels good, we're just trying to create a little warmth and movement in the shoulders, but also in the thoracic spine. So think of this as action you see in the front, but action that's also happening in the back of the body. Nice. Take one more pull of the elbows side to side, and then we're going to slide the hands in. So we're giving ourselves that little hug. So catch your shoulders and elbows are stacked. And now we're just going to move the elbows gently up and down. You can connect this with the breath if you want to, or just move in a nice little gentle rhythm without breath connection. It's not gonna make or break this little bit of movement here. Wonderful. Take one more up and down with the elbows, and then just take note of which elbow seems to be more on top. Open your arms into your cactus arms, goalpost position, and then shake a couple gentle rocks of the head side to side, noticing your head and your neck, noticing the space between your shoulder blades. Take one more rock of the head side to side, and then whichever elbow was on bottom, now see if you can stack it on top in your I Dream of Jeannie arms or square across the chest. Take a couple of pulls side to side. Awesome. One more pull side to side, and then slide the arms in so that the elbow is on top, catch your shoulders, and then move into that up and down maneuver with the elbows. Elbows up towards the face and then down towards the belly button or down towards your abdomen. Nice. One more up and down with the elbows, and then open your arms back into that cactus or goalpost position. Take a couple of gentle turns of your head. One more turn of the head side to side, and then head comes to center, and leave your arms there if that feels comfortable enough. Otherwise, rearrange them. But now we're going to take our focus and awareness down to the toes. Inhale and just lift your toes and spread your toes as wide as you can. Exhale and let your toes float down. Lift your toes and spread your toes. Float your toes back down. Lift your toes and spread your toes, and then try to keep that good intentional spread of the toes as you lower your toes back down. So maybe just a slightly wider position of your toe set on the ground. And then once you've got it, start to find some windshield wipers, but start really small. Start with that smaller, gentler motion, and then slowly, as you find a little bit of warmth or gumminess in the hips, then allow that range of motion to increase. And then once you've got a good rhythm going and things are feeling good, add a head turn as well. So as your knees drop in one direction, head is going to turn in the other direction. Nice. One more drop of the knees side to side. And then as everything comes back to center, you're going to walk your hands down. So hands are just in a more fairly neutral position. We're going to take the right leg like we're going to figure four, but then we're going to release it right away. So you're going to pick the right leg up, bring it over and across right as you hit that figure four point, pick it up, release it, set it down, switch to the other side. Pick your left leg up, bring it over and across. Once you find that figure four position, right away, pick it up, release it, and set that foot down. Back to the right leg. Pick it up, bring it over and across, open into your figure four, and then right away, lift up and off, set it down, pick your left leg up, bring it into that figure four, and then right away, pick it up and set it down. Now go to the right leg, find your figure four, stay in your figure four position. We're going to keep that external rotation, but now with a little bit of intention, see if you can hold that figure four position, but pick your right leg up away from your left. So you're just going to pick it up just a little bit and then lower it back down. Pick it up just a little bit, lower it back down, pick it up just a little bit, lower it back down. And now we're going to pick it up, step it all the way off and switch over to the other side. So left leg is going to come across, find that figure four. And I like to keep just a little bit of an intentional flex in my foot for this particular position, just so I can hold my figure four really sturdy. Pick your figure four up away from that right leg, set it down, pick it up and away, set it back down. Do that one more time. Pick it up, set it down, and now pick it up, set it down. And now we're going to step the feet so that they're about hip width distance apart, move right into pelvic tilt. Press your low back into the ground, release to the natural curve of your back. Press your low back into the ground, release to the natural curve of your back. Take about 3 more cycles here. Awesome. And then the next time you find that fairly neutral spine, we're going to move right into a hip bridge, but we're going to focus on that kind of halfway hip bridge. So we want to think about focusing on keeping the rib cage anchoring towards the ground, and we're going to focus on exhale as we lift our hips up. So find your stable down position, and then as you exhale, lift your hips up, but backs of the ribs are trying to anchor towards the ground. Inhale and release back down, nice and controlled. Exhale and lift up. Inhale to release down. Take about 3 more just like that. Just find a pace that works good for you. One more time through, and then as your hips touch down to the ground, pull your right knee into your chest, give it a light little squeeze, and then we're going to hold on to the kneecap or the shin with a little bit of a basket weave. Push your knee into your hand. Your hands are going to create a resistance, and hold that resistance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that leg, switch right over to the other side. Pick your left knee up, draw it in a light little squeeze. And then with that basket weave, hold on to the knee or the shin, push your knee up into your hands. Hands are going to resist, and hold that resistance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that, pull both knees into your chest, just a light little squeeze. And then maybe if it feels good, a light little rocking side to side. And then just kind of tune in here for a moment. Notice how your back feels. And then once you have a sense of how your back is feeling, we're going to start to rock and roll up, and we're going to find our way up to a little bit of a balanced supported boat. So find a few rocks and rolls, work the length of the spine, notice how your spine feels here. And then once you've caught a little bit of momentum, come up, find some balance, push the backs of your thighs into your hands and create that resistance again, similar to when you're pushing your knee into your hands. So push the backs of your thighs into your hands, and then think about getting just a little bit taller through the crown of your head. Take one more breath, and then we're going to release into an easy seat or sukhasana. So when you feel ready, crisscross your ankles, release into that seated position. And then once you're in that seated position, just give everything a second. Make sure it all feels good. Find that nice tall uplifted spine, and we're going to do the double chin. So we're going to pull the chin in and back, and then release. Pull the chin in and back, and release. Pull the chin in and back and hold it there. See if you can hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, draw your shoulders down and back. Right hand's going to touch down to the ground. Left hand's going to reach up. Take a nice big side bend. Awesome. Lift up and take it over to the other side. Beautiful. Lift up and take it right into your seated twist. Rotate in one direction, just finding the depth of a twist that feels good to you. One more breath. When you're ready, release and take your twist over to the other side. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Release, unwind your twist, and then lean back into your sits bones. Send your legs out in front of you so it's a nice seated ragdoll. So super wide position, super generous bend in the knees. Once you've got that position, think up and over with the belly. Pull the heart forward. Find that nice support. So let your belly and your chest rest against your thighs, and then catch hold of whatever handhold works good for you. Soften the back of your neck and take 3 nice big breaths here. When you're ready, slowly bring yourself up and out of that fold. We're going to spin it around into tabletop position. So come around and onto all fours in whatever way works good for you. But then as you get there, just check it. Make sure your knees feel good, your wrists feel good. If you like to add props to cushion your knees or your wrists, take a second to do that. And then once you're there, we're moving right into a C-spine. So we're going to hug hip to shoulder, just take it side to side, add a depth that works good for you. Wonderful. One more little C-spine each side. And then as you come back to center, curl both sets of toes under and then just take it into that forward rocking forward and back in your tabletop. Nice. One more rock forward and back. And then as your shoulders come back in line with your wrists, we're going to stay in tabletop. Maybe release your left toes, but keep the right toes curled under. Slide that foot back and then take a couple of rocks forward and back here. Lovely. One more rock forward and back. And then when you're ready, slide that foot in, switch over to the other side. So left toes curl under, slide that foot back, and then rock forward and back. Same thing on this with a depth that works good for you. Nice. One more rock forward and back. And then when you're ready, slide that foot in. We're going to move right into puppy pose. So knees in line with the hips. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Let your chest and forehead melt down. Take a couple nice deep breaths here. When you're ready, slowly walk yourself back up and in. We're going to thread the needle, but we're going to take it nice and quick. So take your right hand, just reach it up as high as feels good, create a little space, and then thread that hand through, right ear, right shoulder to the ground. Once you're there, just one generous breath. Awesome. And then push into your left hand, lift up and release, take it back to tabletop position and switch over to the other side. Left hand's going to lift up, create some space, thread that hand through. So left ear, left shoulder to the ground. Once you're there, just take one good cycle of breath. Beautiful. And then push into your right hand, lift yourself up to table. And now we're going back to child's pose. So to go knees together, big toes together, pull your butt back towards your heels, so that closer position, but we're only going to stay for a short period of time. So pull your butt back, make a little space, and then see if you can slide your hands back and just let your hands rest on the soles of your feet. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly slide your hands forward, lift your way up into tabletop position, move your knees apart, curl your toes under. We're going to exhale up to a downward facing dog. Take a few gentle pedals of the legs. One or two more pedals of the legs. And then when you're ready, walk your feet towards your hands, come to a nice soft ragdoll fold. And then in that soft ragdoll fold, just do a little quick looky-loo around inventory, and then find your theraband and then just know where it is so that you can take it with you when you come up to a standing position. Take one more moment in this folded ragdoll. Take a nice big breath. And then if you've got your theraband, go ahead and grab it, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, take your time as you come on up to standing. Then with that theraband, we're going to take it behind the back. So we're going to find a good amount of space behind the back just so that the arms can move pretty freely. We just want to loosen up the shoulders a little bit. And then once you feel like you've got a good sense of looseness, we're going to take a quick little shoulder over fold. So bend your knees, pull your arms with you as you fold over, and then let your arms fall away as you sink into that fold. Take one big breath. And then as you come up, hands are going to soften towards the low back, lift up through the crown of your head, come up nice and slow and controlled, and then pass that theraband to the front, keep that same amount of distance, bring the arms up and overhead. And then just like you're taking kind of that big good morning stretch. So think front pockets forward, shine your belly forward, lift the arms, arch your back just a little bit, maybe even look upward, take a nice big breath in. Beautiful. And then release your arms, release your ribs. Take a second, shimmy, shake everything out. But now we're going to grab our yoga block. And this is not really flowy, but we are going to do just a little bit of intentional work. And then we'll add the block into our flow. So place your block on the ground. And I'm turning out to the camera just so that hopefully you'll be able to see what I've got going on. Place your block at the lowest setting, long ways, so that you can place your foot on. And then you're going to scoot your foot over so that the 4 small toes are on the block, but the big toe is kind of hanging off the edge. And now we're going to try to keep the 4 small toes anchored on the mat, and we're going to try to move the big toe up and down. So look at your big toe, and then see if you can try to find that work. Don't worry if it doesn't go every time. We're just trying to find that connect from our brain down to our foot. So we're going to keep the 4 small toes anchored on the block, and then see if you can just lift the big toe up and down. Hopefully, as you go down, you're getting it past the edge of the block. Nice. Take one more time through. And then when you're ready, pick that leg up, just give it a little shake, and then we're going to switch over to the other foot. So step your other foot on, slide it over so that the 4 small toes are on, but the big toe is off the edge. And then once you've got your way there, try to find that work. Big toe going up and down, 4 small toes stay connected to the block. One side might be totally different than the other. I have one foot that works really well and the other foot that just kind of works independently. And I don't even know what it's trying to do sometimes. All right, take one more time through with that toe, and then when you're ready, pick that leg up, shake it off. We're gonna step our other foot on. Now, here's one where we're gonna use this for like a little bit of balance. So if your surface underneath you is a little bit wobbly, you might use a handhold just so that you feel really solid and secure. So we're gonna step up onto the block, and then we're gonna bring both feet so that they're fairly flush and level. And now we're gonna do our little hip dip. So we're gonna keep our standing leg solid, and we're just gonna dip the foot that's off the block down so that the hip dips, and then we're going to use the butt muscles and the side belly muscles to pull that foot back up to a flush position. Let the foot drop down, hip dips, and then use your glutes and pull it back up to level. And then just see if you can find a few here. And again, if you need to hold on to a wall so you can find that work, hold on to a wall so you get the work done without having to struggle. Nice. Take one more up and down. And then when you're ready, step off your block, take a second to kind of shake out your standing leg and give your hips a little shimmy shake. And then we're going to step the other foot on, step up and find that level position. And then once you're there, we're dropping the foot. So we're dipping the hip, but the standing leg stays straight. So we're not trying to bend the knee. We're trying to move out of the hips. Nice. Take one more hip dip on this side. And then when you're ready, step that foot off, give everything a little shimmy shake. Now, last thing before we set our block to the front end of our mat and get into our flow, you're going to try to arrange your foot just so that you can get the big toe to curl under. So the 4 small toes are going to hang off the edge. You're going to curl the big toe under and then just gently push in just so you get that little stretch to the top of the big toe. Awesome. Lift off and now put all 5 toes on and just stretch gently through the top of the foot and the ankle. Nice. Release that foot, give it a little shake, and then switch over to the other side. So just the big toe is going to be curled under. The other 4 small toes are going to hang off the edge. Lovely. And then lift up and all 5 toes on, all curled under, and then stretch the ankle and the top of the foot. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift that foot off, give it a little shake, move your block just towards the front end of your mat so it's a little bit out of the way. And then we're going to find mountain pose at the top of the mat. So find your mountain pose, toes and knees pointing fairly forward, anchor down into your feet, shoulders down and back. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale, half forward fold. We're going to keep that length in our spine. Gaze down at your feet. You're going to lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can, float your toes back down. Lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can, float your toes back down. Lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can. Try to keep that spread of your toes as you release your feet back down to the ground. Keep that spread of the toes. Reach the crown of your head towards the front end of your mat. Reach your tailbone towards the tail end of your mat. Keep that spread in your toes. Can you lift up and out of that folded position? And then imagine you're wrapping your heels in towards each other so you get nice and strong through the back of the body. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Keep that length in your spine. Lift your toes, spread your toes, float your toes back down. Lift your toes and spread your toes. Float your toes back down. One more time. Lift your toes, spread your toes. Try to keep your toes as spread as you can. Lower them down. And then keep that hip hinge. Lift up through the crown of your head. Come up nice and slow out of that fold. Draw the shoulders down and back. Wrap your heels in towards each other. Get a little squeeze in your glutes. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale to half forward fold. This time, exhale, soften all the way down. If you have a lot of tension in your feet, release the tension in your feet, maybe even give them a little wiggle, and then let your feet land softly on the ground. Bend your knees even more, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll on up to standing. We're gonna swim the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles down, open up through your heart space. And then once you've got that little bit of opening through your heart space, we're gonna draw the knuckles even further down, but think front pockets forward, belly forward, heart lifting upward. So interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles down, and then find that nice opening through the front of your heart space. Take one more breath. And then with control, release back to your mountain pose. Unleash your fingers, readjust your shoulders, make sure everything feels good. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step the right leg back, crescent lunge. So we're gonna keep the heel lifted, knee lifted, lift your fingertips away from the floor, find that strength in your legs, reach your arms up. Notice the toes of your right foot. So see if you can just find a little extra spread of your toes, even as you keep everything else as it is. And then notice the toes in your left foot. Can you lift the toes of your left foot? Spread your toes as wide as you can, and then reset your feet back down. Now, can you lift up from the sole of your left foot? So that front leg, draw energy up the sole of the foot. That leg is nice and solid. And then can you pull that energy upward towards your fingertips? Take one more breath. Nice. And then float your hands down, frame your front foot. We're going to drop that back knee down and take 3 half splits with the knee on the ground. So pull your hips back, peel the front toes up, rock yourself forward. Back toes tucked or released. That's going to be totally up to you. What feels the most comfortable? Nice. And then the next time you come forward, pick that back knee up, plant your palms, step back to a plank. Beautiful. One more breath in your plank. And then with control, bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, hug your elbows into your ribs, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale to lower down, push your way up to tabletop, curl the toes under, pull your butt all the way back towards your heels, take a breath. And then lift your butt away from your heels, but keep the toes curled under, lift up into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to standing, roll your shoulders down and back, swim the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, draw the knuckles down. Think pockets forward, heart forward, belly forward, open through that front heart space, lift your gaze. One more breath. And then with control, release and find your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, crescent lunge. Heel is lifted, knee is lifted. Find your strength and stability first. Lift up, reach your arms up. Awesome. Now, can you focus on that back left foot? Spread your toes just as wide as you can arrange. Can you lift your front right toes? Spread your toes as wide as you can arrange. And then imagine you're pulling energy up from that right sole of the foot, up that right leg, up through the fingertips. Beautiful. From here, float your hands down, frame that front foot as we bring the back knee down. Take 3 half splits with the knee on the ground, rocking forward and back. How you arrange those back toes is just whatever feels the most comfortable to you. Nice. And then the next time you rock forward, pick that back knee up, plant your palms, step back to plank. Beautiful. Bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of the elbows, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra, just as high as you like. Exhale to lower down. Push your way up to table, curl the toes under, pull your butt back towards your heels, but keep the toes curled under. Lovely. Keep the toes curled under, lift your butt away from your heels, peel up into your downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. If your yoga block is at the top of your mat, you're gonna grab it. We're gonna place the yoga block in between our ankles. So you might walk your feet in just a little bit closer to each other so that you can place your yoga block at the skinniest setting in between your ankles. Once you've got that block in place, we're gonna inhale up to that half forward fold. Imagine that you're wrapping your heels in towards each other. So you wanna imagine that you're curling the heels in towards each other, but there's not really an actual big movement that happens. And once you feel that wrapping in sensation, lengthen through your spine, come up to that nice half forward fold, and then walk yourself up nice and slow and controlled. We're gonna keep that block between the ankles and take 3 heel lifts here. Lift your heels away from the floor. With control, lower your feet back down. Keep that block squeezed between the ankles, lift your heels up, lower back down. Beautiful. One more time. Lift your heels up. Awesome. Lower back down. And then just reach down, grab that block out from between your ankles, set it off to the side. Give your toes a little wiggle, give your ankles a little shake. Find your mountain pose again. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, step the right leg back, crescent lunge. We're going to come through just a little bit quicker this time. So keep that back knee lifted, lift your heart, lift your arms, maybe sink just a little deeper. And then when you're ready, release your hands down as you, with control, bring that back knee down. So you're in that lower lunge position. Toes tucked or release, totally up to you. Take 1/2 splits, pull the hips back, rock yourself forward, pick that back knee up, plant your palms, step back to plank. Bring the knees down, rotate the eyes of the elbows, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale up to down dog or through your table to down dog. Right leg is going to come up into 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open, take 1 big breath. And then step that foot through to the top of the mat or just as far as it likes to go. Beautiful. Step that back foot up to meet, come to forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left leg back, crescent lunge. Knees lifted, heels lifted. Lift up. Find that depth of the lunge that feels good to you. Beautiful. And then float your hands down with control as you bring that back knee down. Back toes tucked or release, your choice. 1/2 splits, pull the hips back. Rock yourself forward as you pick the back knee up. Plant your palms, step back to plank. Beautiful. Bring the knees down, rotate the eyes at the elbows, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale up to down dog or through table to down dog. Left leg is going to come up into 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open if it feels good. Nice. And then step that foot through to the top of your mat and let the other foot step up to meet. Awesome. Now we're going to take our yoga block, lowest setting, long ways, place it slightly over to the left corner of your mat. So we're just going to place it slightly to the outside. And I'll just turn sideways so you hear what I'm saying. So as you're standing at your top of your mat, you're going to place that block over to the other side. And then once you've got your block set in place, bend your knees, roll on up to standing. Take your time as you come up. We're going to pick up the right leg, step it over and across like you're getting a little bit of a figure 4, but at the front end of your mat. So blade edge of the foot is going to find that yoga block. And then we're going to take 3 taps of the blade edge of the foot. So you're going to lift the foot up, tap it down, lift the foot up, tap it down, lift the foot up, tap it down. Can you use that foot? Catch hold of the block, pass it over and across to the other corner of your mat, get it set up. And then once you've got that block over to the other corner of your mat, set that foot down, switch to the other side. Pick up your left leg, Bring the blade edge of your foot onto the block and then pick it up. Tap it down, pick it up, tap it down, pick it up. Can you take that left foot, catch hold of the corner of your block, bring it back over to the other side? We don't need it again, but that's just to keep even. And then once you've got it over to the other side, take a second. Whew, give everything a little shimmy shake. We are going to come into a balance from here. So if you want to step off your mat or use your wall, do the thing that keeps you most supported. Start by bringing your fingers behind the back, interlace the fingers, find that little gentle back bend, open your heart, look to the sky. If you can arrange it, we're going to keep the fingers interlaced behind the back. Transfer your weight onto your left foot, slide your right toes back. So think a preparatory position for your warrior 3 balance, but then we're just going to take 3 little taps of the toe just to feel and maintain that balance. See how your balance is feeling here. And then you might choose to find a wall or something like that if it feels good. All right, step that foot in, switch to the other side. Slide your left leg back, take about 3 toe taps. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slide that foot in. Take a second, release your arms, shrug out your shoulders, wiggle out your hands. But now we're going to come back to that position if you can stand it. So bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, going just a little bit more intentional with that depth of work there. And then once you've found that opening through your heart space, transfer your weight onto your left foot, slide your right leg back. And now we're going to open into warrior 3. So we're going to hinge forward, reaching through the knuckles, reaching through that right foot, reaching through the crown of your head. Focus your gaze on a single point and then see if you can maintain that balance for just a moment. Lovely. With control, bring that right foot back in. Keep your hands interlaced, but now we're going to take it into a light back bend. So draw the knuckles further down, lift the heart, lift your gaze as deep as feels good to you here. Lift up with control. Keep your hands interlaced if you can. Transfer your weight onto your other foot. Slide that left leg back, reach through the knuckles, hinge forward, and then find your warrior 3 position on this side. One side might look different than the other, so don't worry about that. Beautiful. When you're ready, with control, bring everything back in. Back to that back bend. Draw the knuckles down, open through the heart, as deep as feels good to you here. Beautiful. With control, release that back bend, release the interlace of your fingers. Whoo, shimmy out those shoulders, give everything a little shimmy shake, and then find your mountain pose again at the top of the mat. Toes and knees pointing forward, arms anchored down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, chest lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to down dog. Right leg is going to come up nice and high, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Take one big breath. Step that right foot up to the top right corner of your mat, nice and wide. Once you found that wide position, we're going to keep that back knee lifted. Left hand is going to stay on the ground. Right hand's going to reach for a twist. Beautiful. Release that right hand down. We're going to kick that right leg back into 3-legged dog. So shoot it up nice and high. Lovely. And then release that foot down, switch to the other side. Left leg comes up nice and high. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Step the left foot up to the top left corner of your mat. Right hand stays down, left hand lifts up. Beautiful. Left hand touches down. We're going to kick that left leg up nice and high, 3-legged dog. Nice. And then release that foot down, lower into your tabletop position. Take 3 cat-cows here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale and round your back. 2 more cycles of breath. When you're ready, neutral spine, curl your toes under. Exhale, lift up into your downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down. Right leg back, crescent lunge. Knees lifted, heel is lifted. Find your stability. Inhale, lift your arms up. Take one breath. Beautiful. Float the hands down as you gently bring that back knee down. One half splits. Rock it back. Bring it forward. Pick that back knee up. Take a twist here. Right hand down, left hand reaches up to the sky. Awesome. Plant that palm, step back to plank. Bring the knees down, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale up to down dog or through table to down dog. Right leg up nice and high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Take one breath, and then when you're ready, step that foot to the outside of the pinky finger. So step it up nice and wide. Left hand stays down, right hand reaches for a twist. Beautiful. Bring that hand down. We're going to step the back foot up to meet, so nice and wide. Once you've got that wide position, take a couple little rocks the hips side to side, and then toe heel your feet into about hip width distance apart. Bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll all the way up to standing. Hands are going to come behind the back, knuckles down, open up into that gentle back bend. Release your back bend, find your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left leg back, crescent lunge, knees lifted, heel is lifted. Find your strength, reaching upward. Float the hands down as you float that back knee down. Beautiful. Rock back into your half splits. Rock forward. Pick that back knee up, left hand down, right hand reaches to the sky. Beautiful. Bring that hand down, plant your palms, step back to plank. Knees down, lower with control. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale up to down dog or through table to down dog. Left leg up nice and high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, let the hip roll open, and then step that foot up to the top left corner of the mat, nice and wide. Beautiful. Right hand stays down, left hand reaches up. Left hand down, and now we're going to step the right foot up, and we're going to take it right into malasana, or that nice low squat. So step that right foot up, and then sink your butt down. You can turn your toes out in any other rearrangement so that it feels like a good position for you. Once you've got it, elbows to the inner thighs, prayer hands together, nice tall lifted spine. Beautiful. Take one more breath, and then release that squat. Set your butt down. We're going to come down onto our back. We're going to use our theraband, and just, I'm going to make sure that you can see before I get all the way down on the ground. We're going to catch hold of our foot. And for me, I like a little double loop around. So I kind of double wrap my foot when we get there. So just know that when I'm saying that, that's what I'm talking about. And then when we hold our figure four, and I say, hold your foot in a firm position, you're going to keep a bit of a solid flex in the foot. So we're going to keep a nice strong position so that we can create tension on the theraband, but the foot stays nice and strong and solid. So just know when we get down there, if you're like, what the heck is she saying? That's what I'm talking about. All right, so come down onto your back, take a second. Let your body settle in, take a breath. And then grab your theraband, pick up your right leg, and we're going to make that little double loop around the foot. So we want to get a good ability to hold on tight to that foot. And now we're going to take that leg into our figure four. So it's externally rotated at the thigh. Once you've got that position, whatever goes on with the left leg, that's just going to be wherever you feel the most comfortable. You can extend it long or keep it bent, totally up to you. Place your hand, your right hand, to the outside of the right glute. So we want to feel that outside of the right glute, maybe a little bit up towards the thigh, but we're going to try to see if we can find some muscle action happening there. So hold and maintain this figure four position, but now start to choke up on your band so you're creating a little tension. And rather than letting the leg collapse in towards you, you have to hold it in that stronger, steady position. And now we're going to try to move the figure four away from the torso. So rather than bringing it closer to the chest, we're going to use the strength in those side hip muscles to move the leg away. So push your leg away from you, but keep your foot solid. Bring it back in slightly with control. Push the leg away from you. Bring it back in with control. Push the leg away. Bring it back in with control. Now, can you hold that figure four position exactly as it is, but release your hand from your theraband and see what happens. And can you hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, release that. Unwind the theraband from your foot, set that leg down, pause just for a moment and notice how one side feels a little different than the other. And then when you're ready, we're going to set it to the other side. So take your band, wrap it around that left foot. Once you've got the band around the left foot, find that figure 4 position with that left leg. Keep your foot nice and solid. So we're going to use the strength of the foot to help us hold and maintain that figure 4 and create that tension on the theraband. Once you've got your foot nice and solid, left hand to the outside of that left glute, just so you can feel that work happening. And then once you feel like you found it, push the leg away, bring it back slightly with control. Right leg can be long or right leg can be bent, whatever feels more stable. Push the leg away, bring it back in. Push the leg away, bring it back in. Push the leg away, bring it back in. Now, can you hold that figure 4 position, but release your hold from your theraband and hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Release that theraband from around your foot. Set your left leg down, both knees bent and come in, and then just give a second. Let everything kind of get incorporated into your brain. And then once you feel like you're good, your glutes have relaxed just a little bit. Now bring your right leg across your left into that traditional figure 4 position. Pick your left leg up, thread your hands through, find the handhold that works good for you. Hug it in just as much as feels good, and then just come back to your breath for a moment. When you feel ready, slowly and mindfully release. Step the right foot off. We're going to switch right to the other side. Left leg is going to come across the right. Maybe you pick the right leg up, thread your hands through, find a handhold that works good for you, and then draw it into your comfort level. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully release. Unwind your legs, pause for just a second. And if you do have to duck out early because you have a group to get to, this might be a great place to just take your Shavasana real quick. So you finish your practice, giving your mind and your body just that little bit of time. But if you still have time to stick around, take a second to toe heel your feet out nice and wide and come back to your windshield wipers, dropping the knees gently side to side. One more swish of the knees side to side. And then the next time your knees drop over to the right, let them sink all the way down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, drop the knees over to the left. Let them sink all the way down. Inhale, knees to center. Toe heel your feet back in a little bit closer. And then pull the right knee into your chest. Take that knee, draw it in a couple of circles, go in one direction. Draw it in circles, go the other way. And then we're going to switch our hand hold. So we're going to grab hold of the back of the thigh, make a little basket weave, push your thigh into your hands, hold that resistance of the thigh in the hand, and then take a couple of kicks of the leg up and down. But all the while that you're kicking the leg up and down, you're still pushing the back of your thigh into your hands. So we're holding that resistance and kicking the leg up and down. Beautiful. One more kick of the leg up and down. And then the next time the leg kicks up towards the sky, relax that tension. So no more pushing the thigh into the hand. And then use your hands and just gently draw that leg in as close as feels good. If it feels great, you're going to walk your hands up towards your ankle and then maybe lift your nose toward your knee. Wonderful. When you're ready, release your head, slowly release your leg. We're going to take it to the other side. Pull your left knee in toward your chest. Draw that knee in circles, go in one direction. Draw your knee in circles, go the other way. Awesome. And then grab the back of the thigh, interlace the fingers, push your thigh into your hands, create that resistance, and then take a few kicks of the leg up and down. The leg kicking up and down doesn't need to be perfectly straight or extreme. We just want to find that tension in the back of the leg. Beautiful. The next time the leg kicks up towards the sky, relax that tension in the back of the thigh. Use your arm strength and gently draw the leg a little closer to you. And then if it feels good to do so, walk your hands up toward your ankle and bring your nose toward your knee. Take one more breath. With control, release your head, release your leg, moving right to supine twist. So we're going to pull the right knee into the chest. Left leg is going to go nice and long. Take that right knee over and across the body. Right arm opens wide. Head turns to the right if that feels good. Take one more breath. When you're ready, pull the right knee into your chest, bring your left knee into meet, and then switch right over to the other side. Right leg goes long, take that left knee over to the right, just as far as feels good. Take one more breath. Pull the left knee into your chest, bring your right knee into meet. One last little squeeze here, and then ask yourself where would be your best Shavasana. Would it feel good to come back to constructive rest, reclined cobbler's pose, that more traditional shape, anything that would feel good. And then, of course, if you're in a cooler space, maybe take a second to just make sure you're tucked in. Throw on your sweater, throw on your socks. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana just as long as you like. But if you feel ready to do so, start to gently reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Maybe invite some gentle movement into your head, into your neck. Move your wrists, move your ankles, and any other gentle movement that allows you to reawaken in a nice way. And then if it feels good to do so, maybe take it into a big good morning stretch. Walk your legs long, stretch your arms up and overhead, and just find that length of space on your mats. Just reach, reach, reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. Take a nice full breath in. And then as you exhale, just let everything be soft for a moment. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, in your own way and at your own pace, find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Great. And then you're not wearing glasses. So there you are. Okay. If you're working from home and you're wearing glasses, take a second and set them off somewhere safe. We're going to fire up our palms, get your hands nice and good and hot. And then once your hands are nice and good and hot, heels of the hands into the eyes and gently rest your eyes into your hands. Take one more breath. As you lift your head up away from your hands, we're going to bring the 4 fingers right to that center of the eyebrow or center of your forehead. So think space between the eyebrows, gently press into the tips of your fingers, drag your fingers out to the temples. And then once you hit your temples, lift up, release, bring it back to center. Press in at the center, press in and drag the fingers out to the temples. Once you hit the temples, lift and release. Do that one more time. Bring it to center, press in, drag and pull the fingers out. And then once you hit the temples this time, take your index finger, middle finger, and just draw some gentle circles at the temple. Draw some gentle circles and go the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, just release your hands right on top of your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up to the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Thursday.